As the leaders of the world's 20 largest economies gathered in Bali, one was in particular demand: China's Xi Jinping. And he appeared to be relishing in this new role. President Xi arrived newly emboldened, having secured a third 5-year term. The 3-hour meeting of President Xi with his American counterpart predictably centred on discussion of Taiwan, with US President Joe Biden emphasising a desire to avoid conflict.
I do not think there's any imminent attempt on the part of China to invade Taiwan, and I made it clear that our policy on Taiwan has not changed at all.
The self-ruled island democracy of Taiwan has been a flashpoint. Recently inflamed Sino-American tensions have seen both powers warn the other not to cross their respective red lines.
Good afternoon. What I want to do with him when we talk is lay out what kind of each of our red lines are.
The Taiwan question is the core of the core interests of China, the bedrock of the political foundation of China-US relations, and the red line that the United States must not and should not cross.
It's language that was adopted by the former Australian Prime Minister earlier this year, after a security deal between China and the Solomon Islands raised concerns of a future Chinese naval base in the Pacific.
I share the same red line that the United States has when it comes to these issues.
But back in Bali, now Prime Minister Anthony Albanese took a conciliatory line in his meeting with the Chinese president.
I use my own language rather than anybody else's. And what I've said is that we need to cooperate with China where we can. We'll disagree where we must, but we'll act and have dialogue in our national interest.
But any hopes that the meeting could signal the end to the $20 billion of trade tariffs imposed by China were premature.
It was not anticipated that a meeting such as that, you get immediate declarations that I believe if people thought that would happen, then that was not realistic.
With relationships between leaders drawing attention, it's easy to forget this is the world's largest economic forum. The economic power of the 20 countries at this summit combined accounts for 80% of global economic output, and central to a weakening global economy is the war in Europe.
A deadly blast in Poland is sending shockwaves across NATO tonight.
EU leaders at the G20 rushed to meet today after missiles hit a Polish village just north of the Ukrainian border, killing 2 people. Poland has blamed a Russian-made missile and the Kremlin has denied involvement.
We have 3 scenarios. It might be intentional, it might be the mistake, or it might be the Ukrainian defense trying to defend Ukrainian sky. It makes no difference because still the reason is Russian aggression.
And the moment when the world had come together at the G20 to urge de-escalation, Russia continues to has chosen to escalate in Ukraine.
Pivotal talks held at a precarious moment in global relations.